So about a year ago now, I covered a situation with the SuperMega channel where some allegations were made by a few people about them, and it turned out that a lot of those allegations were actually not true, but one of the biggest public figures at the time pushing the drama was NickIsNotGreen. He's a commentary channel, and he was doing super well at the time, and ultimately, because of how he handled the drama, he would end up kind of losing his career.
It is still hard to not be embarrassed or sound like I am victimizing myself for being unable to post videos because of my own actions.
But I've been keeping track of Nick over the past little while, and it seems like he actually has grown as a person, and I thought today it will be interesting to take a look at where he's at and maybe if he should be forgiven someday.
Before, I feel like my judgment was so skewed by the way I looked at YouTube and the way my videos performed and the way I was perceived as a creator online, and it took something big like this happening to have me reevaluate all of it.
Now, obviously, it's not really up to me. It's up to the audience that wants to watch him, but I think, honestly, he probably deserves a second chance, even with how badly he covered a lot of that drama. You guys remember the SuperMega drama this was? Oh my... Okay. Today, we're going to be talking about the SuperMega drama, okay? Okay, so this was in October of 2023, so it was over a year ago now. But I haven't really, reflected on this drama since it happened. We haven't really gone back and taken a look at it. So for those who don't know, essentially what happened here was SuperMega is a very big gaming channel, and they got into a little bit of a controversy. A girl named Lex Updog, her boyfriend Ethan is online. Another guy named Don DRR, who had allegedly assaulted Lex Updog. The accusation was that Matt and Ryan had played some role in covering up or not dealing properly with the sexual assault allegation, and that was obviously a very bad look, and it lost them a lot of subscribers. And some of the bigger people pushing this were, you know, obviously Lex Updog had her video, but then friend of Ethan is online, NickIsNotGreen, had made the biggest videos about the situation, where he made a lot of money and got a lot of views off of talking about what was going on. Essentially, he made a lot of bad arguments. He pushed a lot of misinformation. He drew conclusions that were not supported in evidence. And eventually, it just kind of came out that there were a lot of claims being made about SuperMega that were not true. NickIsNotGreen had really fucked up the story. And it took him a while, but he did eventually actually acknowledge it, which is interesting. And I've talked about this before because he has posted a few videos like this, but it seems to me like he actually has kind of come around and realized that he really fucked up, and he wants to be different. And I'm going to make the case here, okay? I was watching, once again, my Jewish cousin from the Jewish side of my family. I'm not Jewish, but I do love Jews. But my Jewish cousin, Gokanaru, from the Jewish side of my family, he recently put out a clip on his live stream clips channel where he made the case that he thinks Nick has actually changed. And I generally would agree with him. I actually think that NickIsNotGreen has changed as a person. And not only that, I think that if we look at his arc a little bit, I think we can actually learn something from it, okay? So this is the He Said Us channel. Now, on his main channel, Green is not Nick is really his real main channel. He pretty much stopped uploading. He's uploaded a little bit here and there, like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, 10 months ago. The last video he made addressing all the SuperMega stuff was 11 months ago, and it was called I Make Harmful Content That Needs to Change. And in that video, he seemingly acknowledged that he actually did fuck up quite a bit. Nick was sort of a victim like SuperMega. Nick lost his whole career because of some lies that his friends perpetuated. Well, to be clear, I don't know if we can call him a victim because he's his own guy. He's his own man. He made his own decisions. But I will say that in retrospect, I don't think that Nick wanted to be a piece of shit. I think he really thought he was doing the right thing. And I think that he didn't realize that his friends were, you know, full of shit in a lot of ways. And I think he also didn't realize that his motivations were not entirely for justice. Because that was the thing about Nick. When he was talking about these allegations, he would talk as if he was like acting in favor of like this like YouTube court of like, we need to put a stop to these people. Like, this needs to be talked about. We need to like punish them, right? He was kind of acting as like judge, jury, and executioner for the YouTube ecosystem, and it really bit him in the ass. And not only because he thought he was on some moral crusade that he was righteous in, but also because he stupidly, I think, believed his friends. And it's okay to believe your friends. It is okay to believe your friends and to want to support them, but to publicly support allegations they are making without the proper evidence, you're really gonna have a hard time and fuck it up. Please tell Sean the horse to stop dating my mom. Well, your mom's just so hot. So Nick, you know, he got really punished for this. And the last video he's uploaded in regards to this kind of stuff has been on the He Said Us channel, where he said why stop making videos.
I made YouTube videos full-time for about 3 years. It was something that I feel like came very naturally to me, and I loved doing it for a really long time. And it was basically my identity for a big chunk of my life. And in the past 6 months, I have, for the first time, completely stopped making videos. I've been spending the last few months trying to figure out how to go back into doing this in a way that's comfortable for me. And so this video is kind of a way for me to explain where I'm at, what my future plans are for YouTube. And it is also sort of another attempt for me to overcome something that I'm really struggling with. If you're watching this, then you're probably aware of it. Last year, I made some really bad mistakes with my platform. I was criticized a lot, and I was under a lot of public scrutiny for it. And even though a lot of problems that I had with the platform were pre-existing before this controversy, this is what kind of caused me to finally, I guess, face the unhealthy relationship that I had with my job.
And what's cool about what he's saying here is he's acknowledging that the SuperMega thing is not the only thing he fucked up. Like, there were other problems before that, right? There were a lot of other issues that he had, like with the Gus Johnson situation, or the other things that he had covered that he didn't do his due diligence on covering the drama. And here he's like self-aware of it, and he seems to have actually shown personal growth, right? He's congested. I mean, I'm congested. We're all congested. But like, do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, he took a huge career hit. He took a huge career hit for this. He stopped making videos entirely. Like, I feel like if he was like a disingenuous guy, he would just keep uploading past this point and not care. But he seemingly he took down all the videos. He apologized for it repeatedly. He made multiple videos about it. And he's like completely seemingly reanalyzing his relationship with YouTube. But yeah, I think that I think he's changing. I think he's actually changing with time. The irony of not being able to handle the very thing he's done to others is immense. It is immense, but I feel like that's why it's so perfect, and that's why I don't harbor hatred for him anymore, because as this guy says, it's one of the many common ironies of life. Most people don't learn how painful their actions are to others until they're treated the same way. He had to be humbled to realize how fucked up his channel was and how fucked up his videos were, really.
I was pretty reckless with the things that I said and the things I posted, and for a long time it was really hard for me to face that criticism head on. It took me a long time to actually listen to what people were saying to me, because it was really hard for me to actually look at the things that people were saying about me online in the first place, and so I just ignored it for a really long time. Even though the way I posted content was already in a bad place before these things happened, I ended up developing an even worse relationship with my job, because I had horrible reactions looking at hate comments and what people would say about me online. It's still something that I'm not numb to.
And this is something that I could very much tell at the time was the case. Like, this was so obvious to me, because when people would make videos criticizing him or talk about it, he would refer to them as Reddit debate bros instead of responding to a single point. Like, he would just try to write off everyone that was criticizing him as you're not even a person that's able to have an opinion, right? That was his entire thing. And I think that's pretty shitty, but I'm just really glad that you can see him actually acknowledging that here. You can actually see him being like, look, you guys were right. I totally fucked up. I didn't practice what I preached, and, I got bit in the ass for it, and it's made me completely reevaluate the way that I do content, and I don't want to be that person anymore. And I feel like that's really good. I feel like that's, the best case scenario you can ask for. I don't want to be clear, I'm talking about him to not shit on him. I'm talking about him because I think he is actually on a redemption arc. And for the people in the audience who are SuperMega fans who don't like what he did, or who are former fans of him, are you obligated to forgive him? No, obviously not. But what I was saying is, I don't know. I just want to highlight the fact that this guy who got shit on so hard actually realized what he was doing was wrong and changed. And I really like that.
I see it on an accident a lot, and it's still something that affects me pretty heavily. Even deciding to make this video and be honest about how hard it did hit me, it is still hard to not be embarrassed or sound like I am victimizing myself for being unable to post videos because of my own actions. But because it's kind of completely brought me to a standstill with posting content, the purpose of this video is just for me to be completely open with my audience about how this has sort of changed my life, since it's been really hard for me to talk about and properly
and I think a lot of people are going to portray this like he's acting like a victim over it. And I completely disagree, because he's making it clear to me that like he's feeling like shit, or he has felt like shit, and it's like caused a really hard era of his life. But he's like not saying he doesn't deserve it. He's saying like, I do deserve it. I deserve what's happening to me, and I want to change me a better person. And I really like that. This person says, Nick, I've criticized you during that controversy, but I do not hate you or think what you did should define you as a person for the rest of your life. Someone out there disagrees with me on that, I'm sure. I would love to believe there are simply good people and bad people. It would make life so much easier. But it's a naive belief that far too many people carry. I don't think you are what you did. I can only hope you've learned from it and can come to terms with the fact that some people will literally never care how much you've grown or how sorry you are. That's all, wishing you well. I agree with that. You know. I'm not really a fan of NickIsNotGreen's content. I'm probably not going to be watching it, to be honest. I have no desire to go and watch his shit. But I like that he is owning up to this. I don't know. It makes me happy to have a story where somebody doesn't just dig their heels in and just like constantly say, I'm right, and never acknowledge that they were wrong. I like that he's acknowledging that he was wrong. And not only that, I feel like it seems more sincere to me because he was so stubborn at first. Like he initially responded and he was like, actually, I'm right. And then he was like, actually, maybe I'm not totally right, but I'm still kind of right. And then finally we got like a video on his channel where he was like, I need to change the way I do content, you know? I feel like it's very wholesome. I bet this is where he stops liking Hassan. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't really care either way at this point. I just think it seems like he's changing around. He's becoming a better person.
And after months and months of hiding from making and posting videos, my anxiety had closely attached itself to my ability to create videos and to really do anything that has to do with my job. Making those mistakes in front of so
Thank you for another 10 gifted memberships. Oreos are good. I appreciate it, bro.
many people and seeing the way that the backlash affected my friends and my family and myself, it added to the already very intense feelings that I had around the situation that I found myself in. And months ago, I realized how bad it really was. You know, being in the environment, shooting videos in my office, being around friends that I met through the internet, talking and reaching out to my close friends and family members about how I'm doing, and even my relationship being with somebody that is online and who has been affected by this.
So is he owning up to being terminally online here? Is he owning up to the fact that he is terminally online? That's too bad. I mean, I like that he's acknowledging it, but I gotta feel bad for him because he's just acknowledging, he's like, I'm in this room all day making YouTube videos. All my friends are from YouTube. My girl's from YouTube. Everything is YouTube for me.
And it ended up affecting really every part of my life, and it became even harder to talk about because of how much embarrassment I have around the fact that I brought these things on myself. A lot of the advice that people give you when you find yourself in this scenario is to keep pushing ahead so people forget about all the shit you did in the past. And people constantly try to remind you that the things that people say about you online are not the way that like reality is and the way people actually feel about you. But that's not really something that is easy to believe when you see the criticism face first and you also believe that you did something very wrong. I continued to find myself in this loop of trying to figure out how to put myself back out there in a way that was healthy, but feeling all of that anxiety and shame. It didn't really feel like a controversy.
Most of these Zoomers are terminally online and need to unironically touch grass. I mean, the problem is, like, when you're a YouTuber, man, the pull to be terminally online is so strong. I felt it personally. I felt it especially this year, honestly, which is why I've been streaming less and fucking off more. And just, like, I don't know, I've been going out to bars with my friends recently and just hanging out with people. Because I have felt this year for sure in the past few months, like, when I was streaming a lot, when I was streaming, like, 4 or 5 days a week, which there were... You know, it's not that common that I would do that, but I'd say 4 days a week was common for a little bit. I 1000% was becoming miserable eventually over time, and I was feeling super terminally online, and I was like starting to hate streaming and hate chat and hate just going live. Like I would fucking dread it. Like, you know, I would stream 2 days in a row, and then the third day I had to stream, I was like, oh, I don't really want to do it, but I would get through it. And then the fourth day I would just be fucking pissed, and then sometimes I would say something on stream that I'm not even thinking about, and then the next day I would go back and look at what I said, and I'd be like, what the fuck did I just say? What is wrong with me? And not like a joke. So I would just give a take, and I'm like, why the fuck did I have that take? And I think I was just spending too much fucking time on the internet, and so I stopped as much, and it made my life a lot better, and I feel a lot better. You say the N-word on stream? Yeah, but that's, you know, based and cool, actually. When you said you would eat Wendigo and shit, no, that was also cool. But yeah, I just feel like I was super miserable. Not like completely like depressed, but I felt the pull of being terminally online. And the problem is that you get rewarded for it, right? You get rewarded. The more you stream, the more money you make. The more you make videos, the more money you make, the more views you get. But this is all a very short-term thing, you know? If you're thinking very short-term in that mindset, and either you're going to have a mental breakdown, or you're going to have a mental breakdown that gets you in a controversy, or you're not going to have a mental breakdown, but you're going to end up like Nick on this like crusade where you're trying to fuck some other YouTuber over because you're too emotionally invested in what's happening in your computer screen. And then you have like a huge, you know, YouTube crash out apocalypse style event for your channel where, you know, your subscribers are the equivalent of everybody in Indiana Jones and Nuketown when, you know, everything just gets nuked, and then, you know, you open the fridge and you're just NickIsNotGreen, but you're in the middle of the desert and your life sucks. Like, that's what's going to happen to you. So yeah, I have no need or desire to hear 5 hours of opinions on online political pundits from a 25-year-old communist who got famous from the age of 21. Turkish Thomas probably. Yeah, exactly. Good reference there. But yeah, I just think that, you know, I have sympathy for Nick. You know, did I have a moment quite like his? No, but you know, I did years ago have the pyrocynical thing, and that was a time when I was definitely super invested mentally in the drama, and I like, you know, I think a lot of people think that I was like being cynical about that, and like I was like lying about it intentionally, and I thought I was completely doing the right thing. I thought I was so in the right, and basically the way that whole thing started was like I saw this kid Ivory getting like shit on by a bunch of Twitter, and I was like, that's fucked up. I feel bad for this guy. And I saw a lot of people denying that these DMs even happened, and I started making videos, but I got emotionally invested. I drew conclusions that I could not support in evidence. And that's why I have a little bit of empathy for someone like Nick, because I get it. I've kind of been there in a way, right? He's a weirdo. I mean, he is a weirdo, but he's not what I said. He's not a groomer, right? And I didn't really say he was a groomer, but I kind of implied it in a way, you know? And I just don't think that was really the case, at least from the evidence that I could have, you know? Maybe there's some other thing, but I just don't think there is, you know? So I fucked up. I fucked up that drama, okay? So I had to take a step back. You were right all along. If I was right all along, I would have come out on the other side of the drama much better, dude. But that's why I have sympathy for Nick, you know? Because I was a lot younger than him when it happened, but I kind of get it.
That I could bounce back from, like I've seen with other creators. It's not something that I can easily block out. I hold on to a lot of the mistakes I make, and I think about them every day. And even though I know that I'm growing and I know I want to move on and I want to do things in a better way, I also know that a lot of people wouldn't care if I didn't do that. And that's a hard thing to accept when your job is constantly being affirmed by strangers online who want to see what you're doing. And again, I caused these things to happen to myself and the people around me, so it's even more embarrassing for me to finally just kind of talk about it, because I can't really bring myself to talk about anything else. And as time moved on, I continued to struggle finding...
Nick on stream would go hard. NickIsNotGreen? I don't think he would ever do it. I don't think he would go for it. And I don't really blame him, because I've shit on him so much. He probably would think it would be some kind of like evil thing that I was like coming after him. But if he wanted to have a conversation, I totally would do that. I think not only would it be good content, I think it would be really interesting and productive. But yeah, I doubt he would do it. I doubt he would go for it. But I don't know. I just feel like he's changed around. I feel like he's changed completely. And like he like willingly took such a big hit for it. He willingly took a huge hit in his career and the money he makes, and like had to completely reprioritize his life. And I feel like he's come around.
I need the confidence to do what I was doing before, and the pressure of knowing that this is the way that I also support myself. And I've never really struggled with anxiety like I have in this way, this like all-encompassing way, where because this is like my career and it's what I envisioned myself doing, when I don't have hope that that is working out, there's nothing else to distract me. Every facet of my life becomes sort of taken over by this anxiety that I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life if I never get over this and I can't post videos again.
Right. But like these moments when you have to, when you're like, you reach a high and then you reach a low, right? When you like get so big at doing something, but there were problems with it along the way and then it blows up in your face. Those moments are like so important to personal growth if you let it make you grow personally, because it will shape the way that you act in the future so that the next time you get to that level of success, or what in whatever field it is, or this applies to a lot of things, but the next time you get there, you won't have those same issues that you were building from the start, right? You'll be in a different position. Tom, for 1 million, you are stuck in a studio apartment for 24 hours. Denim, Summer, or Manx. If you fail, you can only take Zins when they are near you. I'm not answering that. I'm sorry. I'm not answering that. Nope, not answering that question.
It was a journey even making this video, which has kind of been another.
But like, what the point I'm making is like his career was built on a foundation of, some of the videos were probably fine, but a lot of bullshit. And he got so big and successful, and then it blew up in his face. But now that this has happened, he can reverse engineer his career to get big again. But he can like cut out the bullshit and the mistakes, so it'll be a healthy degree of being massive on YouTube instead of an unhealthy thing that's like a ticking time bomb.
Their effort to just try to get myself comfortable doing it again and figuring out how to do it in the way that I did it when I first started doing YouTube. I loved making videos because I was talking to a community, and there felt like there was an exchange there of an audience and someone who was creating something for a group of people. And I think now more than ever, I've felt the disconnect between myself and that audience, and it's a really isolating thing, especially when it's something that came so naturally to me for such a long time, and to find myself with so much anxiety even making this video right now. It's a very scary thing to realize. Me trying to overcome this has been something that's been going on for a while. I actually spent weeks working on this video that I wanted to put out on the day that I left for tour, and spent all these days worrying about it leading up to it, and I never ended up putting it out. I left home for a month, and I had a lot of time to process away from creating videos, but when I came back thinking that things might be different, I found it even harder somehow. I tried making a different video similar to this just yesterday, and it took me so long to build up the courage to actually even hit record, and I sat there for 2 hours just trying to find the words of what is on my mind and how I can convey that in a way that like resonates with people. And even after spending all day trying to prepare myself to do something as simple as just like yapping to the camera for an hour, I could not bring myself to get past the first couple minutes, and I gave up and decided to try it again today with a little bit more of a script. Anyways, I yapped a lot, but I want to talk about the reason why I'm making this video. I came up with the idea of trying to post lower stakes content that is easier for me to just talk about in an organic way, and if I can just get myself more comfortable posting these quick videos that don't take as much effort, then it might be easier for me.
So what's interesting is that this situation has given him apparently such anxiety that he doesn't even like want to post on YouTube. Like the idea of even posting a video gives him anxiety. Because I thought when he was saying lower stakes content, I thought he meant like content that wasn't as serious, which he has been doing that, like the New Norm or the Costco guys. But I mean, on top of that, he's talking about how he wants to do low stakes stuff because it doesn't take a lot of effort, and he feels like even if it's prepared content, he's gonna fuck it up.
I just want to talk about stuff that I like, and I feel like for a long time I talked about stuff that the algorithm wanted me to talk about, and I want to do what I originally liked doing on YouTube, which is just getting on camera and talking about things I care about, whether it's 21 Pilots or scary story telling YouTubers or Crumble Cookie, anything. Just put it online. That's my issue, is I can't finalize something and put it out there anymore. And I knew that in order to just get back.
Right, because he has such anxiety around posting. He thinks that he's gonna like ruin his career again. He's probably watching videos over and over to make sure that they're like able to be posted.
And make videos as if nothing happened.
And even at that, he's probably like second guessing himself all the time.
I would need to confront and talk openly about what's going on with me right now. It is something that's currently affecting me so much more than I'd like to admit, or that I think people would ever really realize. Because of what's happened, I've experienced so much growth, and I've put myself in so many situations where I've challenged the things I believe and the kind of person I am. And so it has brought me to a point where I feel like I can be a person that I'm proud to be. But at the same time, the way that my anxiety is so connected to this job and my relationship with the internet and an audience, it's made things very complicated. And so I want to start making content and interacting with an audience who's interested in me talking about the things I love. And I want to make it feel like it used to when I first started it, before I feel like my judgment was so skewed by the way I looked at YouTube and the way my videos performed and the way I was perceived as a creator online. I had such an unhealthy relationship with all these things, and it took something big like this happening to have me reevaluate all of it. I wouldn't go back and change anything because I know that I'm so different now and I approach things so differently than I did a year ago. And if I didn't find myself under so much criticism.
I'm sorry I'm just listening to this guy. I just find this so interesting to hear that he changed as a person. He actually changed. He's acknowledging here, like, he had an unhealthy relationship with YouTube. He was fueled more by analytics. And, you know, I don't think he is saying here he intentionally slandered anyone, but he is saying, like, he was willing to overlook glaring issues in the name of what he thought was social justice. And also because it got him views. I didn't expect him to, like, I don't know. I didn't expect him to ever acknowledge this publicly, like to clearly come out and say, like, I fucked up and that he wants to be a better person. I did not expect that. This is such a rare thing. I'd take a wild guess and say him and Ethan aren't friends anymore. Yeah, Ethan's talked about that before. Yeah, Ethan has talked about how he hates Nick now, basically. I'm back from my 3-hour goon sesh. Can you give me a 30-second cliff notes of the honey drama? Well, basically this guy named Tarded Jerker, YouTuber you probably know. If you don't know him, gaming channel, 3 million subscribers, very popular, makes Team Fortress 2 content. So Tarded Jerker, very respected for his edits, which often get clipped on TikTok and put there. But then it turns out he had this girlfriend named Honey. Now, Tarded Jerker's dating Honey. Turns out that Honey is 78 years old and is also senile, and that Tarded Jerker covers her in Tabasco every day and watches as she screams in horror as the Tabasco pours into her pores in her skin. So Honey is in extreme pain from what Tarded Jerker is doing. So people start making accusations about Tarded Jerker. Things are not going that well. You know, he's losing subscribers. He's losing fans. He's losing Twitter followers. He's losing sponsorship opportunities with Dollar Shave Club, losing sponsorship opportunities with Mr. Beast. Okay, you know, Mr. Beast is getting shit. Mr. Beast is calling Tarded Jerker. He's like, what the fuck is going on, man? This is bad. I look like a bad guy. I just had this huge drama. Now you're getting involved in drama for covering your 78-year-old girlfriend in Tabasco sauce so that her skin feels like it's on fire and she's in extreme pain for elder abuse. So everybody's kind of, you know, we're hopping off the Tarded Jerker train. We're all running away. You know, we're having a big problem because he's abusing this girl named Honey, okay? But then it turns out that Tarded Jerker makes a response video. And in this video, he explains that Honey not only ate every single Mike and Ike at one particular dollar store, ate them all in 1 week, okay? Not only that, he also reveals that Honey began dating him when he was a mere 73 years old. I think I missed a big part of the video, but thanks for the explanation. Yeah, no worries. I just want to keep you updated, man. Anyhow, I'm not answering that, Willie. I'm not answering that. I'm also out of Zins. I'm not answering that, and I apologize. Anyway.
And I didn't find myself in a situation where I had to stop posting. I don't think I would have changed. I don't think I would have been doing things differently.
Only Sean the horse can answer the question. Get a therapist! Sorry, my bad.
I think I would have just carried on making the same kind of videos, saying the same types of things about people, trying to constantly outperform myself and game the algorithm and have this sort of competitive outlook on it. It caused me to stop enjoying YouTube altogether as something that I enjoyed as like a creative output for myself. It became this stressor that felt like it was always weighing on me unless things performed the best they possibly could. For months I was living at home and struggling so hard, trying to figure out how I was going to continue moving through life when I lost so much of what I felt like made me who I am. And just last month, that timeline of just being at home and ruminating and everything that happened finally stopped because I left home for a month. And I just
So to be clear, without watching this entire thing, you get the idea, right? He's seemingly reevaluating his relationship with YouTube. He's realized he made very bad content and harmful content, and he wants to change, which he's talked about before, but this is, you know, more reflection, which is nice to see. And it seems like he actually is on kind of a good arc here, where he has realized that he fucked up, which is something we didn't see with everyone from the situation, but he did do that. And I really like that, and I feel like I would like to praise him for that, you know? I'm not trying to glaze him too much, but like, good job. I like this. I like to see that he's changed as a person and he wants to be different. Are you membering the streams now? I am membering the streams. Yes, I am. They're members only. Never forget, chat. It was my video that brought out the Sean, well, the VODs anyway. It was my video that brought out Sean the Horse final form. That's true. That's very true. You'd like to have gay sex with him? Well, I'd like to have gay sex with every man. I'd like to have gay sex with every guy. I mean, if given the opportunity. But I don't know. I feel like, I shit on this guy a lot, and I think I was right to do that. I was justified, but also I have some empathy for him. I kind of get where he's coming from, and I would like him to continue on this arc. And you know what? I think someday he might come back and make good content, and he might be fine. He might be fine. Genuinely, he might be. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it'll be cool. NickIsNotGreen personally saw you say he could be redeemed and took it to heart. I doubt that's the case, but that'll be funny if that is the case, but I doubt that's the case. I think he just actually wanted to change as a person. To be clear, I think this guy probably still hates most of the people who criticized him as people, but he just realized that he also fucked up. Gokanairu expressed a similar sentiment on his channel, and I was curious to watch this video. And he's now basically, for those who don't know where he's been, all right, he's on Instagram where he's posting a lot about his band Queef Jerky, I believe is the band. He made this post saying, "It's been a long year trying to separate and grow from the person I was not proud of being. In the past month, I found the new person I aspire to become. The Queef Jerky tour has given me direction. All I want to do is make another album so we can go on the road again. I made lots of lovely friends, and I met lots of lovely people who see the vision just like I do. Thanks to everyone who still sticks around to see what I do. Anyways, back to normal life stuff." So he went on tour with his band Queef Jerky. I think this is his girl, Dev Lemons. I think they do music together. They say he's a good drummer. That's what they say. There's a lot of people there, by the way. I don't know why. I didn't realize their band had this big of like a fan base. There's a lot of people there. Like, this is a pretty packed show. Is Ethan a part of the band? I think he was temporarily, but not really anymore. I think that ship has sailed. I think that ship has sailed quite a while ago.